So got some of the little parts put on the front end that I took off, the brackets and bumper brackets and the washer fluid reservoir, the hood latch, getting ready to hopefully put on the headlights here pretty soon. So I've got the headlight bracket assembly out here. This was the piece I pulled off the donor car that sat in a field for 10 years. So this needs a little bit of love, a little cleanup, a little rust repair. So some surface rust on it, kind of clean it off and give it a coat of paint and make sure that it, stays nice. So we'll maybe get the whole headlight assembly installed today and see if they work. This was gonna sit outside in the weather for a while. These headlight housings here, they were pretty rusty. There's a lot of surface rust on them, so I cleaned them up with a wire wheel and gave them a quick coat of paint. And so we're just gonna kind of get those back. They're definitely a left and right. There's a middle and a side notch, goes with these two adjustment screws, and that gives you your lateral and vertical adjustment. And then it's just kind of held in this on the end with a spring, and it goes in this little notch right here. So you put it, the way I took them out anyway, was side, then end, then the side, I guess you'd say. So I'll go back in reverse order. There's a little groove. It's hard to see on camera, but there's a little groove between the threads and this adjustment head, the head of the screw. You want that to go inside that groove, not at the thread spot. It won't really fit very well. And that will just go in like that. And then we'll bring this spring up to the top. Let's go from this side. There. And so that holds this side down. So then we want to adjust the mirrors side to side. If you thread this out, it'll bring it out this way or bring it in this way. This side stays static and the bottom stays static. And so that when you adjust it from the top, it either pulls it out or pushes it in. And that's why you want it in that groove. So as you thread that, basically that screw out, it isn't just threading the screw out from the housing, it's pulling the housing with it. And makes your adjustment. But we'll deal with the adjustment later after we get it on and hopefully they're working. We'll see if we can get this lined up and get it back installed. I put these brackets on as well as this one, but I'm not sure they just sort of are there. They're not necessarily in the right spot. They'll have to line up with this. This will bolt here, 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 and I believe here, if I remember right. We'll be able to tell once we get it up there, but so it goes there, here, here. So yeah, this one's a little off. Yep, some on there. Oh, that's right, and there's some on the top. So somewhere I have a bag full of screws. It's one of the few things I actually successfully bagged up and labeled. It's handy. It'd be more handy if I get the bag open. There we go. I did not keep track of shorter ones go where. I have 4 short ones and then longer ones. Some that are long and pointy and some that are longer and stubby. That's just a fun little game. So there's 4 for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are not 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm missing one. Of course I am. At least I don't have an extra one. That's usually what happens. Oh, I only have 2 of the stubby ones. Okay. So those, I'm guessing, go in here. It's the only, well, there's 2. There's 4 of everything else. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter, right? If it holds, it holds. Okay, so I want to hook the motors back up. There is a left hand, right hand, and so make sure you put the right one in the right spot. And these are tested and working. So I hooked them to a battery. If you don't know how to do that, there's a video, I'll post it up here. Put a card up there for it on how to check these things with a little battery. I just hooked up a little Milwaukee 12-volt battery. All right, so we got the motor in. We're just gotta get headlight lined up. So there's a little notch, like a flattened out rod. It fits right into a space in the arm. So you just adjust manually until you find your spot. And then it should line up. So now we can go down and up. There we go. All right, let's move over to the other side. There you go. Raise it up a little bit. Okay. Here, let me see if I can get you down here a little better. As I rotate this down, there's this little tab here is going to butt up against that, and that's just sort of its resting place. So it gets to there, it's down. That's it. All right, motors are in. They're plugged in. Moment of truth. Will they pop up? Well, we got one. We got passenger side only. That doesn't seem normal. Just gonna go out on a limb on that one. So we got one that works, one that doesn't. So I want to make sure that I'm gonna check the motor. I tested the motors before they were, attached in here, but they weren't under any kind of load, and maybe the load is too much, like they'll spin without anything attached to them. And not that these are real heavy, but I want to rule it out. So I'll take, I just pulled the fuse out. I'll put this fuse back in. I've got a fuse line here, just so I don't do any other damage, which I have had a tendency to do when I work on electrical stuff. So I've got 12 volt coming right off the battery. And I'll run a 12, or run the ground. Unplug this motor. So we hook up one to ground. These electric motors are just like polarity based. So if you put ground to one side and power to the other, and then it'll rotate one direction, and if you flip them, it'll rotate the other direction. So it's not real important yet what one I hook it to, because I don't actually know which one's which yet. That's not attached yet. It'd be easier if I had something that was smaller to hook to. So if it doesn't rotate, then I'll, go the other way. And that's all these things do. There's a module in here that with a relay that changes power and ground from one direction to the other to make them go up and down. And then it goes on resistance. So if it gets some amount of resistance, it knows that it's reached its peak and stops putting power to it. So let's put power to this and see what happens. Okay, so it goes up. So the motor's working. So if I flip these, it should go back down. It does. All right, so the motor works. Motor works on power. So it's either something in the line here, which I could resolve pretty quickly with a continuity test. Just hook up on that side and on this side and see if I get beepage. And I've got continuity here. Then the problem comes back to that module. I know it has power because this one works. But so if that's true, then I need to find a new module. So let's do a continuity test real quick. All right, so we will unplug this. Go to, where's continuity? There it is. With the speaker, we should get a beep. So I'll go, so that this one is light green, green and light green. So I'll go to the green and light green. So we'll just do green first. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. Let's do this a different way. I got other connectors. I got another set here with a real skinny, like needle type probe. So let's try that. Then I can stick one on one end. Just kind of leave it there. So we'll go dark green. And then easier if these weren't all wound together. There we go. Okay. We've got continuity and very, very little resistance. So that's good. We'll flip to the light green. Same deal. I got what? 2.00201. So very little resistance. So we've got good connection there. No shorts, no breaks. So it's got to be this module. So we've got continuity and we've got, so there's no short. We know it works because it does the other side. So there's got to be something bad inside here. These are quite pricey and kind of hard to come by. I'm gonna see if I can find one. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take this one apart and see if I can see maybe what's going on in there. Maybe it's fixable. They say they're not. But that's never stopped me before, so we'll give it a whirl. Let's see if we can figure out what we're dealing with here. This kind of looks like it's been, I don't know, opened before. There's a little bit of glue in there, but it comes apart fairly easily. All right. So, looks like there's a relay. There's our connectors. Just your basic logic board. So I'm not seeing anything super obvious in here that's not working. Or that's corroded or burnt. I imagine the most common problem is going to be something in this relay, if there's a problem. Alright, well, I don't see anything real obvious in this relay. I thought I'd see something burnt or broken, but I don't. But I can't imagine it's anything other than this. So I did find a guy locally that's got one and pick it up in a couple days. So we'll give that a whirl, see if that resolves our problem. If not, we'll dig back into this. So I forgot, I actually have another module. I have one from that donor car. So I'll plug this one in and plug this back in. Hey, all right, we have both power, or both lights. but there's that still. So I have another motor as well. So I'm gonna take that motor out and try the other motor from the from that other bird. So again, just got to replace these 3 bolts. Trying to drop the nut in there like I did the last time I was doing this, which was kind of a pain. This one you gotta kind of get creative. I could have come up. My hands are too big to get in there, otherwise I gotta come in there from the bottom. All right, and then hook the arm back up. Okay, and we'll just manually rotate that back down. Up. Nope, that one's even worse. It even goes on the upswing, but doesn't on the down. So I don't know. All right, well, it turns out it took all of like a 10-second Google search. Apparently, these have by factory a little plastic gear in them, and those gears strip out, and that's what that noise is. A gear is not whatever gearing, right? I think we'll wrap it up here. I got to order a part for that motor. I'm going to try to take the other one apart and see, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence because if I recall, the other driver's side motor had the same grinding noise. That was the replacement. So I don't think I'll have a whole lot of luck doing that, but I'm going to give it a whirl. But anyway, I probably need to order the part. So I'll save that video for another day. We'll probably do that next, or the bumper. We've got to work on that too and get that installed. Do some plastic welding. That'll be fun. Thanks for watching. We're making progress on this. This is kind of exciting. It almost looks like an actual car again. But as always, I hope you get a little confidence. This is my first time ever working on these motorized door, light door things. Honestly, it might be my last time working on motorized headlights. That's one thing I learned in this process of doing this. I don't like them. I don't want to mess with them anymore. It's just an extra thing to break. But it is what it is, and we got them working now. So don't be afraid to pull stuff apart and work on it just because you've never done it before. You never know. You might figure it out. But anyway, good luck to you in your project, and we'll see you next time.